let's see if that's what happens. Okay, Abby, can you read that page?
One day, a white man's cow strayed into the Lakota camp. It trampled through a teepee and knocked over a cooking pots. A warrior stepped forward and killed the cow with an arrow. The settler who owned the cow demanded that the army punish the Lakota chief. Conquering bear tried to avoid trouble. He offered a mule, 5 horses for the cow.
Okay, so who was the people that got angry here?
The white people.
Okay, and what did the Native Americans try to do to settle it?
They tried to trade because they killed the cow, so they're going to give him a mule and 5 horses.
Right, good job. Let's see here. Okay, Abby, can you read, or Sid, can you read that?
I don't think that's fair. It's just a cow, and they're going to give a mule and 5 horses.
The white soldiers ignored the offer and figured their rifle.
Yeah.
Fired their rifles and wagon guns at the Lakotas. Conquering bears was mortally wounded.
Right. So what do you think? So did your prediction come true?
Yeah. I know why so many Indians are killed during that one that I was talking about earlier. Because these people, it doesn't take them as long to shoot, but these people have to get another arrow and sling it.
Right. So what's the difference between, what do they have compared to
They have guns that automatically
kill them.
Right.
But they have arrows. It takes a while for them to die.
Okay, and looking back, let's reread this. Conquering bear was mortally wounded. What do you think that means?
That must have been the chief.
Yep, conquering bear was the chief. What do you think mortally means?
Really, really badly.
Okay. Let's look at our picture.
Killed.
Killed, right. Mortally means like he...
Like murder or something?
Right. He was... Mortally means like forever. Like he was killed, he's not coming back. Alright, Abby, can you read that one?
Curly was 3 and
Curly
was there and
witnessed
the terrible thing that happened. He was deeply troubled as he stood by the burial scaffolds. Many thoughts went through his mind. What would happen now to his people? Who would defend them? Curly decided he needed a vision to guide him.
Okay, so what do you think? Let's go back and look at this one again. So burial scaffolds. What do you think that means? Like looking down here, what do you think that means? Burial. What does it mean?
They were going to bury some people, maybe, because they're all putting them on these things. And they're lifting up people that are dead.
Right. Because what did he say he just witnessed?
Terrible things that happened.
So what do you think that was? What did we just read about?
They killed the people that were killed. They had to bury.
Right. Because we just read about that war. Alright. And what do you think he means by he needs a vision to guide him?
Like, something in his head that will say, you need to do something about it.
Okay.
Are those people dead, or are they, like, still living or something?
Some might be wounded. Do you know what that means? Like
hurt, but not dead yet.
Right. Alright, let's see here.
Proceed.
I'll read this page for you, okay? Normally a boy would need a holy man to prepare him for a vision quest. He would fast and purify himself in Sweat Lodge before setting out. But Curly felt he had no time. Curly rode away from the camp. He went along the bluffs above the river and came to the eagle-catching pit dug into the soft earth. Curly tied his rope between the legs of his pinto horse so it would not wander away. He climbed the hill, stripped off his clothes, and stepped down into the pit. He sat and prayed for a vision. So, who do you think a holy man is? What is...
Like an angel?
An angel. That's good as.
A priest.
A priest. Yeah, those are both good. So like Native Americans had holy people, and it was kind of like a priest for their like area. It's like someone they look to. So what do you think a vision quest is?
A guy could like give him a vision of what he needed to do or tell him.
Like somebody's wounded, but they can't really see, so they got vision.
Okay. Yep. We'll see. Like, we'll find out. Let's see if we find out. All right, Abby, can you read that page?
The day passed and night came. Curly did not leave the pit. He prayed for strength to help his people. A second day and night passed without food or water. Curly continued to pray. Wonka Tonka, he cried. Great mystery, even though I am small and pitiful, I want to help my people. Dawn of the third day brought nothing to his eyes or ears. No spirit, no bird, no animal, not even an insect came to him. All he saw was the sky above and the earth of the pit. At last, late on the third day, Curly climbed out of the pit. He was barely able to stand. Would a vision ever come to him? He was unworthy. He staggered downhill to where his pinto grazed near the cottonwood. Reaching the tree, he could stand no longer.
Okay. Can you read that page, Sid?
The vision came. It was a rider back on of Curly's own pony. Yet horses and man floated in the air as the man rode closer. Curly saw that he wore blue leggings and his face was not painted a single feather, and his face was not painted a sign feather hung from his brown hair. Behind one ear, a round stone was tied to a red back. A hawk flew above the man's head. Curly heard that these words, which were not spoken, he keep nothing for yourself.
So, what do you find interesting about this?
Oh, I get it. He's a leader, so what leaders are supposed to give, not worry about just themselves. So he's saying, pretty much, you're the leader, so you start giving stuff.
Why was there a rock tied to his head?
There's a rock tied to his head?
It says,
as
the man rode closer, Curly saw
a
a round stone was tied. A red-backed hawk.
Maybe that's something you could write down. Because that's something kind of interesting, isn't it? Or questionable.
While the air filled with streaking hail, the bullets nothing touched the rider. Storm clouds rode above. The thunder sounded, but the man rode on. On the man's cheek was a lightning bolt spot, like hail. Spots like hail were marked into his chest. Suddenly, man Lakotas were all around the rider. Someone seemed to be holding him up while others seemed to be pulling him from his horse.
Kind of a unique picture, isn't it?
The eagle was holding him?
I'm not sure. Kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Because it said some people were pulling him and some people weren't pulling him. They were holding him up. But why do you think it said there's hail and bullets and like lightning bolts and things like that, but nothing actually touched him. This was all in his vision.
True leader.
Because he's a true leader. Maybe because he's unstoppable, that he's strong, that sort of thing. Let's see. Should we read on and find out? What do you think? Okay. Here you go. You can read this page then.
Curly felt hands on his shoulder, shaking him. He opened his eyes. His father had a high backbone. We bent over him, concentrated in his face. Curly looked past them. His pony graced peacefully, hoped as it had been before aversion began. No rider was on his back, but a red-backed hawk were perched on top of the brush near his horse. "Why are you here?" his father demanded. "I come to aversion," Curly said.
Aversion. Okay, so everything that just happened in those last 2 pages, did that actually happen, or was that in his vision?
It was in his vision.
It was in his vision, because what just happened here?
He fell asleep. He
fell
passed
asleep.
out.
Did people wake him up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But what was something that he noticed that he said he's seen in his vision?
He saw a
A
rainbow.
red hawk.
Right.
Flying above the horse.
Right. Because remember,
It's
in
weird
his
how the
vision.
rainbow comes right down. By
Mm-hmm. It is. That's pretty unique, isn't it? Okay. You can read this page, Abby.
Curly wanted to tell them what he had seen so they could help him understand it. But his father's face was filled with anger. "You were not prepared," his father said. "How could you do this without going into the sweat lodge? How can you expect a true vision without being guided by your elders?" Curly looked over at the high backbone. He too was angry. They would not listen to him, so he said nothing. He let them carry him back to camp. He kept his vision in his heart and shared it with no one.
Why do you think he did that?
Because they were so mad at him. He thought if that's what he told them, then he'd be sane.
Okay. That's good. Alright, I'll read this one. 3 winters passed. Curly had become not a different person, but a better one. No young man was more generous or serious. He spoke even less than before, but when he did speak, his words were always wise and clear. Finally, Tashanka Whitco saw the time he had come to speak with his son about his vision quest. Tashanka Whitco sat with Curly in the sweat lodge and listened quietly as Curly described the powerful vision given to him. "The man on that horse," Curly's father said, "is the one you will become. You will be the first to defend your people. Though some will try to hold you back, as long as you keep nothing for yourself, no arrow or bullet can hurt you. Because of that vision, you must have a new name. So I give you my own. From now on, you will be Tashanka Whitco." So, what did his father give to him?
His name.
His name. Okay. And what do you notice about everything that his father was saying? He said, "You will be the first to defend your people, and though some will try to hold you back, as long as you keep nothing for yourself, no arrow or bullet can hurt you." So what in that picture from his vision, do you remember didn't hit him?
The
bullet
lightning
and
and hail.
Right. And so do you think that's kind of like arrows and bullets coming at him?
Yeah, but which one's Curly?
This one is. He's the blue guy.
And that's the father?
Right. And his father was Tashanka Whitco. And then sometimes Native Americans give their sons their name, and then they'll take a different name.
Where are they at?
Like Curly?
In a teepee?
They're in a place called the Sweat Lodge. And it's just where like they'll have a fire in the middle, and then it gets really, really hot in there, and I think it's supposed to help them see
like
their
a
vision.
sauna or something?
Yeah, a sauna. That's a very
Is that
good way
a
to.
gun?
No, it's a smoking tube.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's
That's
actually
what they use in
mhm.
dancing with the
Right. That's a good one. All right, Abby, can you read this last page for us?
The young man whose name had been Curly listened to his father's words. He knew his new name that fit that version of the horse dancing through a storm. From that day on, he would be known by that name. His name would stand for the bravest of all the Lakotas, one who always defended his people. In the days to come, all the world would know that name. As it was said in English, they would know Crazy Horse.
Okay, so
Oh,
what name was he given?
he was giving to
Who's
the
given, like,
jungle,
Okay,
he was
and
given
so,
like 3 different names.
but in English it's actually Crazy Horse. Is why it's called the Crazy Horse.
right, and why? What in his vision did it always say he was going to be doing?
He was going to be fighting.
Okay, and what's he on?
He's on
A horse with
lightning and hail things for
Right.
bullets, and
Okay, so then do you think that's another reason why it was called Crazy Horse?
because he
Like
was
he's always
crazy.
on a horse?
He was crazy.
He did crazy things. Like
What's
he did
that?
crazy
Do we-
things to help us drive.
Right, but what crazy doesn't necessarily mean crazy in this context. It means like different, but like brave. Like you know how some people will do things, but only if they get something in return. But he was the type of person that just did everything for everybody, sort of thing.
What is that in his hand? A staff?
I'm not sure.
Like the white people, they killed the cow,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to give him a mule and 5 horses.
Right. Oh, right. So there's our story. So, what were some of the things that you wrote down? That
Wirely means unique.
okay. What's something that you wrote down, Sid? Or did you have a question about something?
Version?
Vision.
Vision?
Vision. Yep. So can you tell her what a vision is? Do you either one of you know?
A
No?
vision is like something that you see in your head. Like maybe it's like a dream.
Like a flashback?
Kind of like a flashback. A flashback's more like something happened and then you remember it. So it's like you kind of relive it. But a vision's kind of like what Abby said, where it's more of like a dream or something that you see in your head that hasn't actually happened yet.
But it might.
But it might. Right. Because did it happen for Crazy Horse?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like on the longest ride, he thinks of something that already happened.
Mm-hmm.
Or that might happen.
Right. So did you make a connection there? Were you able to make a connection from the story to something you've...
Isn't it called text to world, text to text?
Right. So would that be text to world, text to text, or text to self?
Text to text.
Text to text?
Wait, what was
Text
text
to
to
self.
Text to text is like from one book to another book, or one book to like an article or something else
So it'd
that's
be
written.
text to text.
Text to self.
It could be text to text because it's from a movie, so you're making a connection from
Or it could be text to self because
you.
you saw them.
Mm-hmm, you personally experienced it. You could probably argue that it's all of them. All right, so on the bottom half of your paper, I'd like you to take this and you can fold yours in half, Sid. And I want you to write one thing that you found was interesting about the story, that like you thought was kind of cool or interesting. And then I want you to write one thing that you learned.